My guest today brought it to my attention that a friend of hers is a victim of domestic violence and she needs your help. Jocelyn Wycliffe is a mother of 3 who recently made the courageous step to separate from her abusive husband and make a decision to rebuild her life for the sake of her family. And you can help in this process of rebuilding by donating to her GoFundMe. The link for the GoFundMe will be available in my bio, of course. But if you don't trust GoFundMe, you can also donate to her Cash App. And her Cash App name is $Jocelyn Wycliffe. Again, that's $Jocelyn Wycliffe. If you're watching, I'll put it on the screen. But if you're listening, that's JOSHLYNWICKLIFFE. Hope you enjoy the show. What's up? What's up? This is the ChoppedByT podcast where we get real, raw, authentic conversations. I'm your host, T. And to the right of me, we have
Asia.
How you feeling, Asia?
I'm good. It's hot outside.
It is hot outside. I'm glad that you came on the show. One, we had to reschedule, but I finally got you on.
Yes.
And it's good to sit down and speak with you. We talked a little bit off camera, of course, but I want to get into it. I want to talk about you and your story. Mm-hmm. Born and raised in Middle Tennessee?
Nope, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved here. I moved to Nashville, actually, when I was 14.
Yeah.
So my mom was in the military, so we moved around a little bit. Not a lot, but nobody knows I was born in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So that's random as hell. I was born in Massachusetts. Then we moved to Georgia. We lived there for 7 years. And then she got orders to work at the program at TSU. Mm-hmm. So we moved here and she worked at TSU and we've been here ever since.
Yeah. Gotcha. 14, huh?
Yeah.
So you just moved around before that?
Not a lot. We lived in Massachusetts, then Georgia, and then moved here.
How was that? Because I'm sure at the age of 14, you established like friendships and stuff like that with people, right? How was that moving?
It was really hard.
Yeah.
It was extremely hard. I did not want to move. I had a few friends, but I'm looking back. I'm glad that we moved. I'm glad we left because Tennessee is just a little bit bigger and more opportunities. So.
Yeah. So do you still have any of those friends from back then?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I always wondered that because actually the mother of my child, she was a military brat as well. Is that a thing? Military brat? Mm-hmm. I didn't know if that was derogatory.
That's what they call us.
Yeah. But that's what she was as well. But she, I think she got here pretty earlier anyway. I always wonder, like, do you still keep those bonds and relationships? I know some people don't, of course, but is there anybody that does? So being here, when you first get here, how was it? Like, what was different cultures? I'm sure, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was different. It was, like, hard to get to know people because kind of like when you're at that age, you kind of already have your friends, and most people have their friends from elementary, middle school.
Yeah. And
I still have my friends as well. So it was hard, and I didn't know anyone, and it kind of made me a target.
Yeah.
It makes you a target.
Yeah.
So, and I went to the very first school I went to, it was not a good school. Mm-hmm. It was some hood people there.
Yeah.
You know, girls was trying to fight me, trying to jump me.
Yeah.
I had to fight.
You had to fight?
Almost.
Did you win? Oh, no, you never fought?
No, because these girls tried to jump me, but, you know, I was a band nerd, so I had my clarinet, and I'm like, look.
Yeah.
Don't make me turn up on y'all.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Let me ask, so you come in here, all right, you at the age of 14. Is it just you and your mom at the time? Do you have any other siblings or even your father?
A year before that, my sister had been born.
Okay. So she was young. You were a lot older than her.
Yeah, she was like 2 when we moved here. So yeah, she was 2 and I was 14 and we, moved here. So it was just me, my mom, and my sister.
Yeah. What about your father?
They hadn't been together since I was young. Since we left Massachusetts, they hadn't been together. So.
Yeah. Do you have a good relationship with him?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
He was in my life when I was younger, but when we left Massachusetts, I think he kind of got into drugs real bad.
Gotcha.
So he slowly started to back out of my life, and he was in and out, but it wasn't the same, and I didn't know exactly what was going on with him.
Yeah.
And he has 3 other kids. So I have three other older siblings who are in their 30s and 40s, well, 40s and 50s, and he didn't raise them either.
Yeah.
So I was the only one that he even like spent the most time with.
Gotcha.
Like he was in my life like until I was like around 9.
Yeah.
So yeah, but now that I'm older, I look back and I wish that he had been there, but it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was his decision. He made that decision. You can't force a grown man to raise his kids.
Nah, that's true. And plus, I think in our community, what we have to understand about drug use, and I think people outside of our community already knew this, but what we have to understand is it's a disease as well, you know, when it comes to drugs. For so long, I resented, like, people in my life who were, like, drug addicts. Because, like, you could have been this to me, you could have been that to me. But I had to understand later in my life that it's a disease. You know, it's no different than any other disease. It's something that they're battling, and literally the body won't allow them to break from it, you know. And I don't know. I sympathize with you on that because I grew up without my father as well. He had an addiction, but it wasn't to any drugs. It was alcohol, you know, so.
But that's just as strong of an addiction as drugs.
For sure.
It is. And it's very damaging as well. And I see, like, the effects that it's had on him now. Now my dad has dementia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's probably 74, 75.
Oh, so you like me. Yeah, older parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, got you. How old is your mom?
My mom is, she's in her late 50s, so there's a 15-year age gap between them. So my mom was 27 when she had me, and my dad had to be like 40-something.
Yeah. So now that's me. I have older parents as well. As you seen, you know, you seen my mom when you walked in. Like, she has dementia too. Wow. So, well, Alzheimer's. Tough.
It is tough.
Tough disease.
It's very tough, and it's hard to watch him deteriorate. And it's so crazy because he can remember stuff from 30 years ago. Like, one day he called me, and he was telling me about a wife that he had when he was stationed overseas. And he was like, yeah, she was doing X, Y, and Z. But then again, he couldn't remember that my brother was married and that he went to my brother's wedding.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And it was just crazy. And, you know, recently, like back in January, he has this girlfriend, which is really his caretaker. But she called me and she's like, yeah, your dad's saying that you're dead, that you're deceased. And I'm like, no, I'm not dead. Yeah. And so she puts him on the phone and he's like, I'm like, Dad, I'm not dead. And he was like, going through all these people. He was like, so this person died. And I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, I know who died. And I said, who? He said, Daryl. I said, no, Daryl's my brother. I said, no, Daryl's alive. Yeah. So I don't know what was going through his mind, but I guess he was remembering or grappling with the fact that his mom had passed away, my grandma. Yeah. She passed away back in 2010. So maybe that's what was on his mind. Yeah. But he just was getting his wires crossed. Yeah. So I don't know if that's part of it. Yeah. But it was honestly really shocking for me to get that call in the middle of the night for him thinking that I'm dead. Like,
yeah. That it's a tough disease. I hate that disease. Every day I wish my mother never had it. Yeah. You know. Is he here in this area or?
No, he's in Oklahoma.
Okay.
So that's where he was born. He was born and raised in Oklahoma. And I heard through other family members that years ago when he was still in Massachusetts after we left, that he had gotten so bad off in the drugs that his brothers went up there and actually like got him and like took him back down to Oklahoma. So
did you have any male figures growing up in your life?
I had uncles. My mom had a few good boyfriends. Yeah. She never really let anybody get super close to her. Yeah. She was very cautious about that. She was protective. So she wasn't one of those moms, but she had a few good boyfriends that I liked and male family members, like in particular, my uncle, he passed away in like 2018. But damn, why am I getting emotional?
Yeah, no, me too. I am too.
But like, I was close with him. So my uncle, he passed away, and so yeah.
Yeah, you kind of making me get emotional too.
Sorry, I don't know why. I just think about him and like I miss him so much. Like he was my favorite uncle. So
yeah. I mean, we're talking about father figures. Like, do you feel like you got what you needed as far as like that? Because I feel, and I'll explain what I mean. Like, I feel myself that I was fulfilled as far as having a mother. But when it came to like fathers or male figures in my life, I don't feel like I was fulfilled in that way. Yeah. Do you ever have that feeling?
You know, I know for sure I wasn't, but I can't pinpoint exactly how and why I wasn't fulfilled. It might be different for you being a man.
Yeah.
For me being a woman, but I definitely feel like his lack or the presence of a male figure impacted me a lot as far as like my emotional development and how I was able to express myself, and as well as it really hurt my relationship with my mother.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have that extra support.
Yeah.
So she was extremely stressed out.
Yeah.
And I noticed the difference looking back between how she treated me when my dad was in the picture and then when he wasn't.
Yeah.
You know? Like she was really combative and just angry with him. And then he was gone, so who's she gonna take it out on?
Exactly. The oldest, the person that
Exactly. So, and I'm not saying that she did that intentionally, but it is a conversation that I've had with her before. Like, I feel like you took out a lot of your frustration and anger on me.
Yeah.
And if I would have had that male figure that could have been like, okay, you're not getting along with your mom. You need to get out the house. I'm going to come pick you up, get you some pizza, whatever, you know, just to get out the house, you know, and get that, alleviate some of that stress between us.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's all it is. I feel like some of them, it's like some of those ass whoopings was a little harder than what they should have been.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like I didn't do, I fucked up, but
yeah,
I didn't do that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I didn't, a lot of times you look back and feel like, did I really deserve, you know, the intensity of you like yelling at me like that, or you saying that to me?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like when you have a parent that's doing it all alone, you know, you realize it's like, okay, they're stressed out, but they could have, you know, put their frustrations elsewhere or took a breather and then came back and said, okay, you messed up and I'm going to discipline you in this way or that way.
Yeah. How does that affect you now in adulthood? Because I know me personally, my mother was the type, if I cried, it's like, why are you crying? And I don't know why. I think it's because she had all boys and she raised, you know, all men for the most part. She raised women too. And my mother, she's just like strong and stern. And like people will say mean. I wouldn't say mean. But she, I mean, I guess mean, you know. But because of that, that kind of made me like more inclined to be like aggressive and like, you know. Did that manifest later in your life as far as like what happened to you in your childhood?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had to grow into like learning how to express myself because for the longest I did not have the ability to express myself in a healthy way. It was either completely going off the handle, flying off, rage, screaming, crying, cussing, fighting, or the other end of the spectrum where I just shut down and didn't say anything.
Wow.
So it's taken me a long time to find that in between. And I feel like even now, still in my early 30s, I just turned 31, I'm still getting there. Like I'm still learning how to say what I have to say without either shutting down or just like flying off the handle.
Do you feel, all right, what is the, do you take accountability for that? Or is it like, yeah, these people fuck me up?
It depends on the situation.
Yeah.
It depends on the situation.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because sometimes it is their fault.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It really do be their fault sometimes.
Yeah.
Because people will try you.
Yeah. Like, I mean, because me personally, I'm like, you know, some of this shit is not my fault. Some of this is, you know, they say you can't blame your mother, you can't blame your father. Some of this is my mother, my father, or the person that I'm dealing with and their trauma. That's what makes relationships so hard because you got two people coming with this baggage and they coming together and it's like more baggage, you know?
Definitely.
I guess that's a pessimistic way to think of a relationship, but I mean, that's what it is. That's a part of it.
I feel like it's the real way. Like it's the realest. Because if you think about it, everything that people have went through in their life, like adding up to the moment that you met them is like shaping them and how they're responding to you.
Yeah.
And they've learned certain things. They've learned how to react to certain things in a certain way. And then you're not understanding them because you're not psychic. You don't know.
Right.
So you don't know if you could actually do something to trigger them and then they react in a way you're like, well, I didn't mean it like that.
Right.
And then a lot of people don't communicate.
Yeah.
They're really bad at communicating.
Yeah.
And that could be with any relationship, like friendships. Like I've really had to learn how to communicate, especially with other women because I didn't learn that from my mom. Because we were always yelling at each other and arguing. Like, I never got the chance to really just like, well, sometimes we would talk, but for the most part, you know, you just feel misunderstood a lot.
Right. So how is it with you and women? Was it like that affected like friendships and stuff, or were you able to have like solid friendships with women? How did it affect your communication with women?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I do have friends. Like I've always had like growing up, I've always had friends, like a good 2 or 3 solid friends. But I just feel like with all women, it's just a learning process.
Yeah.
And it's just a part of like coming into your femininity because a lot of the times women don't communicate like verbally like we say we do.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you're just supposed to know or you're just supposed to understand. And, you know, recently I've had situations where I've had to like tell my friends like, hey, could you not do X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
And my whole thing is I've had friends in the past where they didn't respect my boundaries. Like I would say, hey, you did something to hurt my feelings. And it would be an argument and they would be like, well, I don't remember saying that. I didn't do it. I didn't mean it like that. Instead of just saying like, hey, I didn't mean it like that. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I've been like that. And I feel like I've done that for my friends. Yeah. So the friends that didn't reciprocate that energy, I had to cut them off.
Yeah. Same. I think it works like that with men as well. Yeah. And that's a real challenge because men are like prone to be more violent. Yeah. You know, so us, it could end bad, you know, a lot of the times, you know. And I don't want that, you know, like, because there's been times where it ended bad with me and my friends in that way, you know, where it's like.
So men don't fight and then keep it pushing y'all. A fight can end your friendship?
Sometimes men fight and keep it pushing. Sometimes men fight and then they fight more and then they end up killing each other, you know, sometimes. You know how this go with men, especially like black men, like. Wow. You know, only raised by mothers.
Oh, so they're more emotional.
Yeah. I think that's probably one of my biggest accomplishments now. Yeah. It's saying that my son, in the way that I handle him, in the way that I you know, communicate with him, I think later he'll understand. Because he'll be emotional like me. He's like, his mom says he's like sensitive and emotional, but I say he's like an artist. Yeah. You know, that's the artist part of us, the part of us that wants to create and is passionate and has like a lot of conviction. Yeah. It comes out of him now, even when he was young. See, me, I got called crazy for it. They say, oh, he crazy, you know, because I'm expressive and there's a lot of energy and I'm telling you how I feel and it's a lot of excitement behind it. But he won't get called crazy for it. He'll get called, you know, what he is just he's an artist. He's somebody who creates. And I'll help him channel that and know when that it's a good time to do it and it's a bad time to do it. Because me, I did a lot of times I did it at the worst times, you know. Right. And it manifested as like aggression or a conflict, you know. And I created a name for myself, like bad guy or whatever you want to call it.
Not the bad guy.
Yeah, I think I did a lot of the times. But you understand that though, I'm sure, you know.
Yeah, and I also feel like when you don't have like your dad there, you don't understand how to kind of like let things like slide or, you know, it's like, because when you're raised by just a woman, there's so much intense emotions and everything is just heightened. So you don't really have that opposite where a dad will be more like, okay, this is how you can handle this. And it's more like of a control. Yeah.
Especially when you already prone, because I feel like I was already prone to be like overly like passionate. Yeah. But then you add my mother into the mix, who's a woman who doesn't show me that or is not able to just show me that. Yeah. You know, and a lot of times she celebrated that passion. Like, good job. You know, like, you know, I guess it is good and bad to it. I don't know.
It's just like everybody needs that balance. And I don't feel like, even if some people who do have 2-parent households, they still don't have that balance because one of the parents might not even pay them any attention. Yeah. Like, you know, I feel like when I was younger, my dad, he really didn't pay me any attention unless I was getting in trouble. Yeah. Like, it wasn't like, oh, let's play together or do this. It's like, okay, you're only looking at me and giving me attention when you're telling me to sit down or be quiet or not do this or do that. So it's all about how much quality time you spend with your child and teaching them that, you know, how to regulate themselves. Yeah.
You're 31 now.
Yes. 31. I just turned 31.
Yeah, I'm 31 too. 31. I know you expected to be married and all that by now, right? As a kid.
I did. I did, and I'm not surprised that I'm not.
Wow. Shit. Why
I'm
not?
not. I'm not surprised that I'm not married. Like, the older I get, the more I realize, like, okay, being married is something that is like damn near the stars have to align.
Yeah.
And even if you do find somebody else who, you know, is on the same mindset as you and their goal is to be married, it's not always like going to happen, because not everybody is aware of themselves.
Yeah.
Not everybody is aware of things that they're doing to push other people away. I've had relationships with people and they like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. And I'm like, yeah, but look how dirty you are.
Yeah.
Look how you don't communicate.
Yeah. But I do want to talk about that though. Like with you and relationships. I want to talk about that. I was saying 31 now.
Yeah.
You're 31. You know, I know you expected to be married. Now I did too. By the time I was 31, I was like, I'll be married, probably have a family. Actually, in the beginning, I never wanted to be married. But by the time I was like 22, 23, I was like, I like the idea of being married, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted a family. Like, where are you where are you now with that? Like, as far as relationships and, you know, having this goal and planning it out.
Well, the plan now is not exactly to just be married, but to just find someone that I can do life with.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to end in government papers.
Yeah. Okay.
Even though that would be nice.
Yeah.
But, you know, it just seems like such a big thing and hard thing to do, to find somebody who's like on the right page, because you'll start talking to someone and then you'll just start seeing their mindset unfold and you'll start seeing certain things about them.
Yeah.
And I've had like men that I feel like try to con me into being with them.
Yeah.
Like, don't try to get me to fall in love with you based on what you can do for me.
Yeah.
Like, show me who you are.
Yeah.
Like, show me that I can depend on you if something bad happens, or if I'm sick, or if I'm having a bad day. I don't always want to know, like, yeah, it's nice that you have money. Okay, it's nice that you can do X, Y, and Z for me, but who are you at the end of the day? Like, who are you to your core?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, everybody puts their best foot forward when you first meet someone, but don't try to mask who you really are.
Yeah. They call it love bombing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just heard of that. I've been told that I love bomb people before.
Really?
Yeah, I've told that. But I think it's just some internet shit. When people tell me that, like, seriously, I'm thinking, well, when she said it, it's like, I think there's just some shit you heard on the internet.
So were you love bombing, or were you just excited to meet a new person?
That's right. Just excited to interact with someone new, someone who I thought I could create a future with. And when you realize, like, oh, who that person is, you're like, yeah, I actually don't like you. And you kind of fall back. So,
but what makes you, what is like the turn off point to where your energy switches up and you're like, oh, she's not who I thought she was?
For the last few women I've dealt with, outside of the mother of my child, I want to exclude her from this. Okay. Because I don't want no problems. Good. Outside of them, I think it's liars. I hate a liar. Like, but lying in the worst way. Mm-hmm. You know, lying like, oh, I think lying about intentions. Like, you know, in the effort to like try to manipulate, but not manipulate to get anything, but I guess it was not to get things like physical things like money and stuff like that, but manipulate to get, you know, me to fall for them or manipulate my emotions. Because I can give you, all right, money is one thing, you'll forget that. An item is one thing, you'll forget that. But, you know, the love that you give someone, you tend to remember that throughout your life, you know? Yeah. So if you manipulate that precious thing that I'm able to give you, if you manipulate me into getting that, then to me, it's like, you kind of like one of the worst people. So that's been the point for me for the last probably like 3 women that I've dealt with.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I but you probably experienced it though. You just got to be able to recognize it, you know? And yeah. To me, it's like I realize like, oh, what's going on in the moment? Like I see it. It's like, oh, this is what's going on. And sometimes I question myself. I do like a lot of self-evaluations. It's like I'll question myself, like, am I bugging? Am I tripping? Because I know I can be, you know, a little crazy sometimes. So it's like, am I tripping? Am I in my head?
Yeah, because I feel like most women, when they want to get with a man, it's like their intentions are pretty much pure.
Yeah.
Like women, we're so in the mindset of, oh, like a romantic story. Like we're delusional sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's like hard for me to understand that. But I mean, I can believe what you're saying because some women might get desperate.
Yeah.
And they see a good guy, a guy who's like doing something, who, you know, is attractive, and they might think like, oh, I have to like sucker him into being into me.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do that because a man who wants you wants you.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to manipulate or anything. So.
And I think it's that baggage thing too. It's a lot of time people bringing that shit in. So
Yeah.
it's like one woman I used to deal with. She was a flirt, and that's okay to flirt. You know, I guess. You know, to some extent, but it's like you flirt so much. It's like, but then you flirt with the wrong people. You flirt with people that, you know, that I'm close to, stuff like that. It's like, it start to, you know, and you create a mindset for them, and now they care. They don't understand what you're doing. It's just, that was that. I dated a woman who had been through so much trauma. She was so damaged. And it's just, it was hard to have to deal with it, like constant, like, you know, I'm constantly being reminded of the things that she went through. And I get it, I'm here for you or whatever, right? But like when you constantly reminded of the things that you went through and I don't know, I feel like an asshole saying this. I seen her doing the work, right? And I was like, wow, you know, okay, she's doing the work. Yeah. I just have to be patient. But, you know, when you like a year in and it's like we still kind of like going through the same thing. And you know, I'm trying to respect like this is our process. You know how y'all don't like to hear us complaining all the time?
Don't ask me. I can't speak for us all.
So a lot of women say they don't like hearing men complain all the time. Like some women say that anyway. Like how y'all don't like hearing that. It's like we don't like hearing that shit either.
But were you helping her like move through her issues?
I was trying to the best of my ability. I tried. But
yeah.
You know,
I mean, you're not at the end of the day, you're not a therapist.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it.
Yeah. It's cool. They just headed out again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it ain't gonna pop up on the mic. We can hear it, but it won't pop up on the thing.
She ran down on you though.
She did. She just got. Well, the thing is, she just got out of work.
Oh, okay.
She just got out of work, so it wasn't a pop up for real. She had already said she was gonna come pick him up.
Oh.
And I just lost track of time. I didn't realize she was getting off at 12 though. She got off early. She did run down on me though. Yeah.
I'm glad I got to see her though.
Yeah, for sure. I figured y'all knew each other because of AK Psy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I figured y'all knew each other. And plus I seen y'all followed each other as well. So
okay.
Yeah. But relationships, where are you now? Do you want a man or do you have a man?
I have somebody that I'm dealing with.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we've had conversations and I've expressed myself to him. So we're just there and we're just trying to understand each other. But I mean, if it doesn't work out, I think both of us are in the mind space of it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's been dating has been painful for me. Like it's been disappointments.
Yeah.
It's been, you know, I've learned about myself a lot. And I've been in situations, thankfully nothing that's really crazy. Like I haven't been been abused or anything. Yeah. But I've been in situations where I've noticed like how you said, like you meet a guy and he's all excited to get to know you and then just pulling back and they realize that, that's not the image that I made up in my head about this woman.
Yeah.
You know, like some people like you, but they like the idea of you, but they can't handle the reality of who you are. Yeah. Like I've heard that. And it's just not that I'm a bad person, but I know that I can be emotionally very intense. And I know that sometimes I'm really independent. Yeah. And I'm not just about to just follow you. Yeah. Like I'm going to give you some pushback. Yeah. You're going to hear from me. You're going to hear what I don't like, what I do like. And I'm not going to ever hold back or, you know, try to change too much of who I am. And I openly accept other people for who they are. Yeah. So I expect that in return. Yeah.
Do you think you can ever make it work? Like with you and the situation that you have now?
I hope so.
Yeah, you want to?
I hope so. Yeah, we've communicated, and if he sees this, hey, babe. No, I'm just kidding. On that. No, but like I did tell him I was coming on this podcast, and I was like, I'm nervous, and he was just like, well, it's just sitting there talking. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Now I'm glad that you also like, you know, own the fact that you have things about you, you know, that you have your own like shortcomings and that you're actively trying to communicate with it. I think y'all make it if you know, you continue to do it. It's just a rough patch. You've been through a lot.
Yeah.
You've been through a lot.
Yeah, I have. And when it comes to dating, like, I don't know if I've done it the right way. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
explain that for me.
Like, you know, I don't know if I've always had the right intentions with dating.
Yeah.
And I haven't like communicated the right way what I'm expecting out of a relationship. Like a lot of times, especially when I was younger, I would just like, okay, go out with him. Okay, I like him. I'm going to start seeing him. I'm going to start having sex with him, letting him do whatever. I never like sat someone down and be like, these are my intentions.
Yeah.
Like I would like to date. I would like to be engaged by this time. I never did that.
Yeah.
So I did not know to do that because there's no guidebook on dating.
Yeah.
You have people on YouTube who will give you advice and be like, don't let a guy do this. Don't let a guy do that. Blah, blah, blah. Abstain from sex, all that. And then I never saw my parents married.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you don't have the example,
Yeah.
it's hard to do that. You just go out and just let your hormones and your emotions control you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And you need that example too.
Yeah.
That's what kind of fucked me up with my son. I hope like I can, you know, navigate that because I would like to see him married. You know, I would like to see him have a wife. Yeah. But, you know, me and his mother, we aren't married. We aren't together.
But at least he gets to see y'all get along.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least. Like, I didn't get to see my parents get along. They fought, literally.
Yeah. Oh, she'll probably watch this because you on here and she know you, but she tried to fight a lot.
Really?
But I won't let her. Yeah, I won't let her. Like, I'm not finna fight you. Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, because I think it's up to the man to control that. It's like, if I can put a dampener on that, I'm like, no, I'm not. We're not about to argue about it. I'll say what I have to say. I'll get, you know, say my piece.
Yeah.
She can say hers, but, you know, 2-3 days in, it's like, we're not about to do this. Like,
yeah.
We love each other at the end of the day. Yeah, and a lot of people confuse that. Like, women that I may talk to, they see our dynamic and stuff. It's like, yeah, you still in love with her. I'm task oriented now. That's how I have to be. These things are in front of me. I have to do those things. As far as like the luxuries of life, like love, relationship, even friendships. Shout out to my friends because like I don't get to be anything except I used to be like the guy to go to for my friends. Mm-hmm. I don't get to be that anymore. I'm always calling on them asking, can you help with this? Like, oh, the caregiver didn't show up. I got to go to work. Can you come sit with mama for a little while? You know, can you do this? I'm always having to pull from them.
I feel like a lot of people are in that space right now.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like in survival mode.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to get somewhere and overcome something.
Yeah.
It's like life gets real. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we're still young, but we're getting to the point in adulthood where we don't have parents to depend on anymore. It's like us. Yeah. And a lot of people are having kids. Mm-hmm. I literally had a friend reach out to me yesterday. She's like, I'm so sorry that I haven't been there for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I was like, you check in on me. We're both adults. I understand that you have a lot going on. And I was like, thanks for reaching out.
Yeah.
And I was like, because this has been a friend of mine for years.
Yeah. Since
high school.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And I understand, and I'm glad that you communicated that with me. But yeah, I've enjoyed my solitude.
Yeah.
Like I still see my friends. But right now is the time, I feel like, to kind of like be inward and look inward.
Yeah.
Cause like it ain't getting easier outside. It's not getting cheaper. You know, if we finna go to war, it might be World War III soon.
Yeah.
Like everybody take cover.
Right. No.
So I don't know. I hope this world gets better. I do.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And I'm hopeful. I think it's just like the pendulum swing. You know, it goes from good to bad, and regardless of what we think, you know, we've actually enjoyed like a lot of years of like good, where we kind of, I guess, internally we created our own bad, but we've enjoyed a lot of good. Maybe this is the time for the bad, and maybe we got to go through that.
Yeah, a lot of things are definitely changing.
Yeah.
Like,
do you feel it though?
Yeah, I do. I feel it.
Same.
I feel the change. I feel the energy change, and I'm into all that spiritual stuff and astrology, and I'm into it. Yeah. So I've been reading and, you know, listening to other people who are on the same thing as me. And it really is a time to, like, you know, be self-sufficient.
Yeah. Yeah, in every way.
Yeah, in every way, and protect your energy for real, because it's getting real out here.
Yeah. Yeah, I just seen a woman post about this. It was like, these new age rappers scare me. It's like every young rapper is like spinning, killing. Like, damn, like, you know, somebody rap about love. You know, somebody talk about peace and prosperity, or trying to make a better way for yourself. You know, it's other things, but I don't know. It just it feels like the energy is off. It feels like it's off.
And a lot of like people want to be popular, so they go off of what they know would get them. You know, have people listening and bobbing their head. And then as you get older, you want something of more substance.
Yep.
You don't want to hear that. Like, I enjoy the J. Cole's and the Kendrick Lamar's, and I enjoy that type of rap.
Yeah.
I enjoy when I actually hear a real bar or something deep, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
That made me think.
Yeah, we older now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not old, but older.
Older. Yeah, we older now. Like, I mean, same. The shit I used to listen to is like, I can't listen to this. You know, I try to go back, but it's like, this don't relate to me. Like, Boosie talking about killing people or something. You know, that's being into it. It just don't relate to me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a father now. You know, I'm a full-time caregiver for my mother. I'm a, professional. Like, that shit don't relate to me now.
Right. You have a lot on the line.
Yeah. Listen, let me ask you this, because I'm going to let you get out of here in a minute. But I want to ask you, what would you tell your younger self? What would you tell that 14-year-old who just moved to Tennessee?
I would tell her to slow down.
Yeah.
I would tell her to just relax into herself, and don't be afraid to just be yourself, and you don't have to put on for anyone.
Yeah.
You don't have to act like you're happy when you're not.
Yeah.
You can express yourself. And I would tell her to swing. Yeah. Swing. You should have swung. You should have swung on them bitches.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Man, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
I would like to have you back again. You know, it's a lot of stuff we talked about out camera that I feel like, could help a lot of people whenever you up to speaking about it. If you ever are, I think.
I will definitely be back. And when I'm, settled into my, myself, and, I'll come back and I'll talk to you.
Yeah, because that's what we do, writers. You got any projects, anything, books, anything?
I wish. So at one point I was writing a book, and this man was actually paying me to write a book. And so it had started off because I had written like a story for a friend for her birthday or something. He read it. He was like, it's so good.
Yeah.
And he was like, you need to keep writing this and making it into a book. But of course I didn't finish it. But I would like to, honestly, I would truly like to, because I've loved writing for so long.
Yeah. Listen, I published like 3 books through Amazon, self-published.
Okay.
It's an easy process. Amazon make it real seamless. So if you ever need anything and you decide to jump back in there, the best, if I can help, I will. That's basically what I'm trying
Appreciate that.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on. Listen, if you're watching right now, I need you to go like, comment, and subscribe. I need you to go get the merch. It's at www.ChoppedByT podcast.com. Listen, thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, this is a ChoppedByT podcast where we get real, raw, authentic conversations. Until next time.